Alright, welcome back. We've just completed the video on security education. Now we're moving into security training. This is the how. What do I do when I detect something has occurred? Alright, education was providing the answer to the why question. Awareness is providing the answer to the what question. Training, which is what we're going to talk about during this video, answers the how. How do I respond to this? So this generally involves providing detailed information and hands-on instruction so that you can do your process. You can perform your duties. You know what to do and what procedures to follow when something happens. There are a couple of ways to do the training. It comes as no real surprise. You can either develop customized training that is internal to your company, or you can outsource it and have that training done by several security firms that are willing to offer that training. Again, probably comes as no surprise that if you decide to do that customized training in-house, it's the most expensive option, but sometimes it's the most effective. Alright, let's go in and look at this a little bit. If you do that customization, you need to look at how you're going to provide that. You can do it by functional background. In other words, put the general users together, put the managerial staff, all of the leaders together, and then put your technical staff together and do that training. Or you can do it by skill level. Look at novice, intermediate, or advanced. Either technique will work, and different companies do it different ways. Using the wrong method is going to hinder the transfer of information, not going to be very effective. That the good training programs are going to take advantage of the latest technology. So showing someone how to FTP in today, not so interesting. 20 years ago, very interesting. But it's not something that people do. Or Telnet. People don't even know what Telnet is anymore. So providing security training around that, not so helpful. You want to make sure that your training program is aligned with what the challenges that a user is facing day to day. Be it that they're a leader, be it that they're on the technical staff, or be it that they're a common user. Here's a little quib on this in terms of what you want to do. Typically when you're doing that training, you want to make sure that it's in as small of a group as possible so you can have that personalized touch. If you're looking at training around the recent developments, again, you're not going to be able to use those centralized public courses. It's going to require more on-site training where you bring an instructor in and they're talking about the latest developments, the latest attacks that are out there. Alright, continuing on this kind of look at training courses, you have to look at what your delivery mechanisms are, and what we're going to do over the next really 2 slides is look at different techniques. Most effective, most expensive is one-on-one, sitting down with one person, and for senior leadership often that's what you need to do. But a lot of times if you've got a large organization, one-on-one is not going to work. You can also do formal class, a normal class setting where you've got 1/15 or 20 or 30 people, and that one instructor trying to work with them. Again, that's been very effective. It's much less expensive than one-on-one, but again, you may or may not be able to do that. Computer-based training sometimes will work, especially with certain technology tools. That's going to work. I would caution that you have to create time during the workday for your employees to be able to go in and use that computer-based training, and sometimes it's very challenging to do. Some other techniques, you can use distance education and webinars or web seminars. Those are becoming increasingly popular. Lots of web seminars out there, and you can offer them yourself. You can do user support group, where you have folks and you set up a social media site where folks can log in and talk about different security issues, and to do training where it's user supported. Kind of a cool idea. Last 2, self-study or on-the-job training. Both of these will work. They are different delivery mechanisms, but as you're building a security program, what I would recommend is use a mix of these different delivery methods. By using a mix of one-on-one formal classes, computer-based training, distance education or web seminars, user support groups, on-the-job training, and self-study, you can reach all of the users. The more time you have, the more you can develop alternative approaches that reach different niches within your company and allow that training to be effective because the users are going in and actually doing it. All right, let's look at some training methods now. Again, different ways of doing this, and we kind of talked briefly about this at the beginning, but this idea of using local training, where you've got one of the members of your staff that's actually doing that training. You may even have a dedicated member of your staff for a larger organization. You can use a continuing education department or even college courses associated with certain things. Use an external training agency, and there are a plethora of them that are offering security training. You can bring that training, a professional trainer or consultant on site. You can organize and conduct training in-house using your own employees. So lots of different ways of delivering that training and using those different training methods to reach your users. All right, let's go forward. Look at one last slide now that talks about security training, and what this does is it talks about a 7-step methodology for developing that training. So in step 1, identify what your program scope, goals, and objectives are. Look, we're going to learn how to set strong passwords and the importance of strong passwords. Step 2, identify that training staff who's going to do the training. What's the target audience? Go out and motivate management and employees to attend that training, hopefully with carrots and not sticks, but sometimes you've got to use some sticks. Sometimes you've got to use positive reinforcement, sometimes negative. Then administer the program, actually conduct the training. Build some maintenance around that program so that it's relevant, it's offered at the right frequency. And then evaluate it. Is this the right training? Is it effective? In the end, training is effective if it changes user behavior. If they learn the processes and procedures they need to follow to respond to a security incident or to implement safe computing, then you've got an effective training program. If the training, no matter how lauded it is, does not change employee behavior, then it's not an effective training program, and you're going to have to look at different techniques for actually deploying that training. All right, well, that's all for now on security training as a component of SETA, of a security education training and awareness program. During the next video, we'll start to look at security awareness.